Hey guys, welcome into Edie's Attic. My name is Jenny. I am here with your weekly message, it should have been Monday morning motivational, but I have had a very, very busy schedule and I have been trying to take more time to tap in and to connect with spirit and my own team and to, embody it and become more centered and more grounded. Um, I pulled back a little bit from posting here over the last few days, and I think I'm going to continue to kind of space out my readings a little bit because I really do enjoy the time I have with my spirit team and learning more and discovering more and tapping into that higher knowledge. But I did get some messages for the collective, and if I do have some more time, I'm going to pull some cards. But the first thing I got out from Spirit was I heard them say, "It's not what you say, it is what you do." It's not what you say. Sometimes energy can be felt and understood more so by you simply existing and living and walking in that essence, living it, embodying it, which was another thing that I had written down. Embodiment and fulfillment. Embodying that energy, that angelic energy, that light worker energy, that healer energy, that higher consciousness. We don't always have to be speaking about it, talking about it, sharing it verbally. It's what we do and how we move, and our actions sometimes can speak louder than words, obviously. And so it's like just bringing you back to that mindset that it's not what you say, it's what you do. And then I was hearing being in your presence is like being touched by angelic light. You don't have to do much. You don't have to do much at all. And I don't think you realize that. Just your existence, just your light, just your pureness, your innocence, your love, the love that you carry within you, that you share and that you give to others is more than enough to do the job that you are meant to do here. And collectively, when we all move in a place of love and we open up our heart chakras and we're all on the frequency of love, do you know how powerful that is to change the collective? You know how powerful that is in this world, in this universe? The dynamic it has, the power behind a mass group of people vibing together on the same frequency and moving from a place of love. That's so powerful. And that's like kind of like what Spirit wants us to remember. So there's like a divine prophecy I was hearing. But we are being called to remember that when we all feel like this individual pull and calling for a higher purpose, not to let it like escape our minds that many of us, our higher purpose is union with each other. Our higher purpose is a mass collective shift. It doesn't just happen with one individual. Maybe individuals can spark that light or help people see the inner light within them and, teach and help each other grow. But we're being called to remember that we are a mass collective. We're all a part of something bigger than ourselves. And that this divine prophecy doesn't always just mean one person. It's one embodiment, like one group of people kind of coming together to fulfill one ginormous, huge prophecy. So that keep that in perspective. And you may be, if this resonates with you, then you're probably a part of this collective. But I'm not even going to show the card because I thought about it, and what I wrote on it might not even be allowed on social media platforms. So I'm going to have to word it in a certain way. But if you have found that you have been face to face with what seems may have been perhaps the end many times in your life, over and over, and you walk away from these situations and you ask yourself, how did I get out of that? How did I dodge that? There's no way. Something had to have stepped in. Some kind of angelic protection or divine intervention had to have moved through this, because there was no way I walked away from that unscathed, completely fine. But not just one time. This is something that may have happened to you over and over again over your lifetime. And you look back and you think about all those times that you walked away untouched in a situation where it should have been way worse, then you're probably a part of this collective. Because here's the crazy download that I got. And this is even like so far out there that even I'm still wrapping my mind around it and trying to understand. I was shown a spirit team. We all have spirit teams that help us, that guide us, that protect us, that watch over us. We have passed on loved ones. We have ancestors in our lineage. We have spirit guides. We have angelic support. We have guardian angels. But then my spirit team wanted me to realize that some of us have Grigori watchers. And I had to do a deep dive last night to really understand what that is. And it is a thing. Grigori watchers are somehow, like, you have to go do your research, read up on it, because there's so much information about them from so many different cultures, so many different religions. So much information is out there about them. But they're somehow connected. I believe that they were the fathers of the Nephilim. And some religious texts say that they were the fallen angels. Because I guess they interbreeded with humans or whatever, and they weren't allowed to. And that's what created the Nephilim. There's a whole lot of literature about it. But what I'm being shown is that some of us actually have these as our guardian angels. We have guardian angels, we have angelic support, we have spirit guides, and then we have these guys. And it's kind of interesting because the night before I got this download, I had a dream where I came face to face with I couldn't tell if it was a woman or a man, but I'm leaning more towards feminine. And this particular feminine was very large. They were about 9 feet tall in comparison to myself in my dream. And I remember they looked very scary. They were intimidating, but I said to them, "You like me, don't you? Just a little bit. Come on, you really do like me. You have to like me." And I said, "I'm fond of you. I like you. I feel close to you. I feel safe with you. Even though you're so much bigger than me, I feel safe." And I kid you not, this feminine was crying and they're wiping their face. And they looked at me and they said, "Yeah, I do, kind of, just a little bit." And they walked away. And then the next day I get this download. So for some of you, you do have some very, very ancient, powerful watchers that protect you. And they were showing me that those are the ones with your angelic support, but they have stepped in numerous amount of times to protect you from a catastrophe. And they were also showing me that for some of you, these particular watchers are actually ancestors for you. So some of you come from lineages that stem all the way back to the very, very beginning of Earth and civilization. And some of you may be, descendants, far, 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 far down the road, descendants of this lineage where perhaps these were people or angels that kind of stepped in and created a new kind of human. So some of you were just assigned these. Some of you are actually descendants of these. Use discernment. This message is not for everyone. But if you have been face to face with something that should have ended much worse, and I'm talking like repeatedly in your life, and somehow just walked away completely untouched, that was them. That was a whole group of spirit interceding on your behalf for some reason, some divine prophecy, which you are a part of. Not the only one, but you are a part of a bigger picture, a bigger prophecy. And you're doing your part. You're playing your part. You are elevating and you are raising your frequency and you are changing the course of humanity as we know it just by being you and by being authentic and by operating out of a place of love. So that was the download I received this week from Spirit. I do want to pull a couple of cards, and I'm going to be pulling from my Oracle of the Hidden Worlds because I feel that I'm drawn to it. I feel like it's very fitting for this particular message. But is there anything else that Spirit wants us to know today in regards to this? Any more information that maybe I didn't receive in my download that they want to share with us now? So let's see. The Angel Gate, number 9, cleansing, protection, and blessing. The Angel Gate. And we have Aurora Garden, beginning, initiate, origin, number 10, which is crazy because I shuffled and we got 9, 10. Let's see what else we got. And then the last one out, we have number 31, Oracle. It says sacred living, spirit speaking, and intervention. Spirit, can you give me any information? Can you tell me more about number 9, the Angel Gate, cleansing, protection, blessing? Sacral chakra, creative expression, sexual energy and emotions. Cleansing, protection, blessing. Dispelling an illusion. One more, please. The storm, and then we have the butterfly. The storm and the butterfly. The Angel Gate. Wow. I feel like for some of you, you've had like glimpses of a higher timeline. You've had periods of time where you felt like you're actually in your highest timeline. And then you were like sucked back into a lower timeline where you may have gone through some storms. You've weathered some storms. And gosh, I feel like the Spirit is telling me right now is like, you had to go back in and go through some stuff to be rid of it. There may have been some losses or having to walk away from paths that weren't meant for you. And while you're in it, it felt really awful and felt hard, and it may have really discouraged you. Like you felt like you weren't doing enough, or you felt like you weren't meeting the expectations, because like if you're doing all this work and this inner healing and you felt like you were growing and evolving, then why is this happening to me? Because they were clearing the path for you. You know, like when a storm hits sometimes, and say you're living on a property and you have all this overgrown trees and bushes and weeds and stuff, and then a storm comes through and you look at it like, what a mess. But then it made it a little bit easier because it kind of tore up all those weeds and bushes that you needed to clean up anyways. And the house maybe you needed to repair, but it kind of like it kind of cleaned everything away for you to like build on and to start new, like a clean slate. That's kind of like the image I'm getting, is like you had to go back in order to go through some things, in order to remove them and to clean your slate, to start anew. It was a whole like a cleansing process, and it was meant for your protection. You were meant to be rid of these things because they couldn't come along with you on this journey. They needed to be removed because you are now in this phase. You're kind of like right at the very cusp of this new path, right? This beginning. You're in this initiate energy. Now that these things have been cleared, as painful as it was to do, and maybe some of you are actually still working through it and still clearing out some of this negative energy, old timeline type stuff out of your life. Once that's all cleared out, you are going to be stepping into your highest timeline. It's showing me. You're not going to just be thrown into the highest timeline either. It's not like you're going to go to sleep one day, you know, a certain way, and the next day you're going to be a completely different person in a completely new life. But you're going to be working down that path. You're going to be set. You're going to be prepared. Everything is going to be cleansed out of your life, and you're going to be able to move in that direction without any more distractions or problems occurring along the way. This was divine intervention at its finest. You had some powerful individuals, powerful spirits intercede and step in on your behalf recently in order to keep you in a place where you're walking your sacred path. This is a very, very spiritual journey for you. You're on this like journey of enlightenment and embodiment and fulfillment. You're on a journey of one that's seeking their divine prophecy, whether it's solo or collectively. But for many of us, it's collectively. We are all moving towards something that we want, a better world, a more peaceful, harmonious frequency. We want to reside in a environment where the frequency is high and love is reciprocated, and that we are moving and operating out of a place. So we're probably going to be seeing quite a bit of, I want to say, tower type situations, tower moments in our world, in our society, in our community, in our families. We're going to be seeing a lot happening where it's going to make us wonder and question and hem and haw about the state of our world. I thought we were doing better. You might question, like, you know, so many of us have moved to live in a world filled with more love and peace. Why is all this happening? It's like a great purge. That's what I'm seeing and I'm feeling and I'm hearing. It's like a purge. It's a purge of all the old ways, of all the old timelines. It's a collapse of timelines. And we are at the very beginnings of the age of Aquarius. And we have a whole other cycle, a whole nother age that we are closing out. And while it may have closed out and we've already started the age of Aquarius, there's some residual energies and some timelines that are still left open that are being cleaned and cleansed and purged. And it's like we're working through that. And I'm being told to say to keep your thoughts very positive, even though the things that you may be seeing tend to be very negative and low vibe. And it's not a call for you to not have empathy or understanding. Have empathy and understanding, and definitely speak up and speak out where justice is needed. and to lend a hand and to be a helpmate to our fellow community, but not to let it pull you down, pull your frequency down. Our thoughts create the new world. We are the creators of this world. So if we're in constant thought of negativity and we worry and we move in fear and doubt, then the changes aren't going to happen as quickly as we want them to. We have to be very confident that this is just a purging phase, that this is going to end soon, that love is going to conquer, that we are going to win this battle. It's a spiritual battle. And right now, it's our divine prophecy to bring love and light into this universe. And I know there's a lot of people out there, the negative Nancys or the realists, that will like balk at this and say, it's impossible. We can never become what you're saying. We're never going to see that in our lifetime. Or, like, you're all love and light and you're not grounded. You don't see the big picture. Well, I do. A lot of us do. We see the big picture. We understand there's some bad stuff happening all over. But the point is we're not letting it stop us from creating a new world. And maybe we won't see it in our lifetime, but we'll see the beginnings of it. We will be the founding fathers and mothers of a new way, a new life, a new world. We are, destined to be the spark that creates this new lifestyle, this new way of living, this new way of thinking, and this new energy, this new frequency. So please don't get discouraged. Keep living in your truth. Keep speaking the truth. Keep influencing others with your positivity and your love. And don't allow others' negativity to drag you down, because it's kind of like what they want. The dark wants to win over the light. It wants to pull us and suck us back into that black hole. It wants us to live in fear and to realize that we don't have control over the way that our reality is. But when we do, we actually all have very much a control over our reality. It's just a matter of getting more people aligned to the frequency of love and, being strong in that, being just as confident in our love language as those that reside in the dark are with theirs, because they have a lot of confidence and they have a lot of numbers. And right now, I feel like there's a shift. There's a lot of people that are just over it. I don't want to deal with this no more. I did the dark side. I don't want to be a part of the dark side. Or, like, I'm over having to see it every day in the news or deal with it every day in my community. What do I do? What's my part? How do I help fix this? Well, we all start by fixing ourselves first and by operating in the place of love that we would expect other people to treat us with. So if you want something to change in the world, you have to start within yourself and being that change. If every single one of us took accountability and actually did the work and stepped out into the world being exactly what we expect from other people, then that is half the battle right there. And again, it's in numbers too. The more people and more souls that we have lit up across the grid, working together in unison on the same frequency, the faster and the smoother this transition is going to be. So that is the message for the beginning of this week. I hope it helped. And if it did resonate, please comment below and I will catch you guys on the next one. Also, if you are not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And if you know anyone that this message would help dearly or it would connect to, share it. Share it with your friends and family. Share this message to people. All right. Have a good one. I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.